headquarters.
They want more people in their sanctuary cities. Well, we'll give them more people. We can give them a lot. We can give them an unlimited supply of being in the country.
Well, the president's sending a strong message this week to Californians. Our panel ready to send their own message. We're going to take roll call here. We have Alex Tavley in there on my far right, the executive editor of the San Joaquin Valley Sun. Mario Santoyo, the executive director for the California Latino Water Coalition, and Samuel Molina, the California state director of Mi Familia Vota. And Sam, I'm going to come to you first because obviously this is something that really is in your wheelhouse here when we talk about immigration. President Trump saying, hey, these sanctuary cities, they want to protect immigrants, then we're going to give them a whole supply of them if they can. That's his plan. Do you see right through this? Is this a political stunt?
You know, I see this as you said, a political stunt by the president, and I think that, again, he's trying to drop his responsibilities onto somebody else, right? It's the responsibility of the president, this administration, the federal government, to deal with our immigrant issue, right? Making sure that people are getting assistance when seeking asylum, and getting visas, and a pathway to citizenship. So the president really needs to do his job as far as dealing with what's going on at the border and stop deviating from his responsibilities. He's had 2 years to pass a proper comprehensive immigration reform bill. He had a majority of Republicans in Congress, and he failed to do that. And he's continued to fail, a sensible immigration bill since he's been in office.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you look at this, I mean, Alex, I'll come to you now because you heard Sheriff Mims. She says, yeah, this is kind of him calling their bluff, meaning Governor Gavin Newsom and really Governor Jerry Brown before that, about these sanctuary cities and what they really mean. So is this a good way for the president to start attacking an immigration reform bill?
Well, I think it definitely is starting a conversation about immigration. For the last 4 years, states and cities have been trying to seize the immigration issue from the federal government because some of them see inaction and they don't see the priorities that they want reflected in the House or the Senate and bills that have been passed. But in the process of that, they've kind of overstepped their bounds, especially in the sense of establishing sanctuary cities where you have end cooperation with the federal authorities that are tasked with enforcing immigration laws. And so when that happens, it's one of those situations where the president might be well within his rights to kind of remind them who's the boss when it comes to immigration and then eventually immigration reform.
Mario, I'll come to you now because obviously Governor Gavin Newsom and a lot of the state leaders, Democratic state leaders, they have been blasting the president for doing this. They're calling, the president's move using immigrants political pawns. How do you see this actually kind of playing out?
Well, I tend to agree with the sheriff. I see this as a chess move. Basically, I don't think that it's a real action that's being proposed. I think it's basically a position that is hoping to get some movement towards border security. I differ a little bit in terms of Samuel's thoughts in terms of the blame going to the president because as I see it, I think the blame goes to both the Democrats and the Republicans in the legislature in failing to take a comprehensive immigration bill seriously. And that's what's creating a lot of these issues is that, had we had a comprehensive immigration bill, we wouldn't be dealing with the issues that we're dealing with right now.
Well, we did have two immigration bills.
We did, and I was going to get to that because, and Sam, I'm going to come right back to you because he's saying Congress failed, and he's partly right when President Trump asked Congressman Bob Goodlatte, who is now retired, but he asked Congressman Bob Goodlatte of Virginia to say, hey, you're an immigration lawyer, you've been a congressman for 26 years, why don't you head up this immigration reform bill? And nobody could figure out why the Congress couldn't figure this one out.
It was a very regressive bill. It wasn't very progressive towards our immigrant community.
Well, but then when the president said, I'm going to help out the Dreamers, they still couldn't pass anything.
I mean, the first thing
isn't this Congress gridlock?
The first thing that President Trump had done, I believe in September 2017, was try to repeal DACA, right? So he was already sending the message that he wasn't trying to pass immigration reform. I mean, he said he was trying to put responsibility, at least that's what he said he was doing. But we had the USA Act, we had the DREAM Act in 2018. These were both bills that we were supporting at the time that were in the House but couldn't get through the Senate, right? So you know, again, and you had a majority of Senate of conservatives, and it couldn't get through the Senate. And so I think if they were serious about it, it would have happened already.
I think some of what Sam's saying is right, but I think at the end of the day, DACA was always on legally tenuous ground to begin with. And I think
Right.
President Obama would even agree with that there wasn't a lot that the federal government could do to continue to defend DACA in court. Eventually, it was going to run its course. As far as the bills, the immigration bills that have hit the House in the last year and a half, a lot of this goes to goalpost shifting by congressional Democrats, by congressional Republicans. Both sides have done it. You've seen congressional Democrats unwilling to negotiate a border security package that has less money today in it than the Gang of Eight bill from 2013 did by a factor of almost 2. So when you look at that kind of scenario, there is some goalpost shifting occurring among Democrats who claim they want to see immigration reform happening, while Republicans are seriously pushing for a wall. And so that's a change for 5 years of immigration discussions.
We can continue with this discussion for many, many years, as we all know.
That's right.
I do want to move to the Social Security letters targeting undocumented workers. President Trump reinstating this. President Obama ended the program. But again, this is targeting those undocumented workers who do not have matching Social Securities to the Social Security Association's report. So, Mario, I'm going to come to you and say, hey, look, this can go both ways. You heard the sheriff say, hey, you know, I'm kind of on shaky ground a little bit on this. I'm kind of leaning towards both sides. This is a very heated, controversial subject.
And it's a very important subject here in the San Joaquin Valley. Because this doesn't just have an immediate effect on those workers that have a mixed match type of numbers. What we're forgetting here is that it's going to have a major effect on the the farmers and the businesses that have the employees. I was talking to some farmers recently to ask them, you know, what's going to happen in terms of their harvesting if they are going to have to let their employees go. And there's some serious concerns out there because in lots of cases it takes some great skill in a lot of their operations that takes like 10 years to develop, and if they have to let those folks go, it's not going to be easy to replace them.
Real quick, Sam, finish this up. I got about 20 seconds here. Finish it up by saying, hey, could employers be kind of like enforcers, and that could cause a big problem?
I think that's what you're seeing. They have 60 days to remedy it after they receive that letter. I mean, this can affect about 8 million workers. I mean, according to Manuel Cunha, who was at the event with Congressman Costa the other day, I mean, this is going to affect our industry here in California. So, you know, again, this is just another fear tactic.
We'll see how that plays out as well. Guys, hang tight. A lot more to come, including this big... There will be a test later, by the way, guys. Right there. That's coming up a little bit later.